Hello everyone, I'm Iron Phoenix and welcome to Satisfactory. I had the weekend off streaming, but I didn't exactly have the weekend off satisfactory. Yeah, things got out of hand, maybe. Welcome to Factory Town. This is... Fun fact, this was actually the site that I had earmarked to start work on some of these Phase 5 components, which I've not automated yet. I've sort of automated the nuclear pasta. Sort of. It somewhat works. But I've not automated the others. So I thought, well, let's build a factory for it. But where? Where do I build it? Well, I've built it up here. Excuse me. I've built it up here on this sort of grassland plateau bit. It's not far from where nuclear pasta is being made, which is just down here. And it's also not that far from where the original diamond mine is. Yes, but there's some SAM ore there. There's also 3 pure coal veins over in this direction. And there's also a crude oil gusher. I can't remember what they're called. The deposits, I think they're called. Not the oil patches, but the bit where you put the resource nodes on. There's one of those up here. The only thing it didn't have, well, there's a few things it didn't have. It doesn't have any iron up here, so I've found a solution for that, which is over there. And it doesn't have any nitrogen either, so I had to find a solution for that. And as a result, with all these solutions being mostly made, what I have done is I have built a facility that doesn't actually do what I intentionally that I built this facility to do. It actually currently makes the dark iron, the ionized fuel. That's what it makes, ionized fuel, which is good. I will need that for power to do everything else that I need to do. So over here, this room was for... You know, I really should put signs up or write notes, because I built this... it wasn't quite 2 o'clock in the morning, to be fair. It was... I don't know exactly when I started this, but by the time I was finished, I was maybe losing it a little. Because I don't actually remember what this building was for at all. Should clarify. These buildings were built before I had anything to put into them. It's why the floors are still the standard concrete, the standard foundation, and I've obviously got no buildings in it. I do, however, have the intake for something here, which is coming from there. This may give me a bit of a clue as to what it was. It's the trigons. Still not helping very much. Well, the trigons would make something up here, surely. Something that I would need. So let's... I can't drop a quantum encoder. For some reason, my supercomputers aren't being made, and I don't know why. I suspect something has got stuck somewhere, but I can't remember where I was making supercomputers. I can just craft some. It's fine. It's not ideal. Well, before I do that, let me give you a little bit of a tour. So, over that way is spiders. But also over that way is the nitrogen supply line, which is a bit messy. It kind of comes through here, and then it's a lot neater as it's sort of attached to the wall, goes up there and into the main thing. over here is what I need to probably work on today, is just kind of squishing this a little bit better in here, potentially giving it its own building up here so that it can feed this machine bit, which is making something. Dark matter crystals, which are used for the fuel. I do have a cargo container here, which I've already pulled. Can you put stuff in here? Oh yeah, you can actually put stuff in there. That's kind of cool. Not that I want to, but yeah, I can't close that again. No, unfortunately not. But yeah, so I had a crash drop pod here. It was in the middle of everything, so I just made it part of the scenery. I think that came out quite well. I think I even did leave some components lying around. I can't remember. Maybe not on this one. There's a little workshop in here. In here is where the reanimated Sam is being made. That all needs to go over that way, because I need to get iron from somewhere, and I don't have any iron up here, so I'm converting it from limestone. And you may ask, where's the limestone coming from? Well, that is actually coming from sulfur. So I'm converting the sulfur into limestone, and then the limestone into iron. And then the iron goes into iron plates, and then that fuels the nitric acid, which that may have shut down. Let's have a quick look. No, we got lots of nitric acid. Okay, something's something's got stuck somewhere. I am putting these on the end. I've not quite finished all of this. Right, so we've got that. Kicking that out. That's got turbo fuel. Okay. So yeah, so turbo fuel is full. So what's missing here? Got nitric acid. Oh wait, is the... If I undo that and pull that out, does everything start up again? No. It's because we don't have fluid tanks yet, because I've not built that bit yet, because reasons. I'm just sort of catching up exactly with where everything's going. Yes, aluminium is being made over there, and it's not being brought over. Right. First things first, it's going to be a bit messy. Everything is, because what I'm doing at the moment is I'm doing a basic layout. So why is this shut down? Why is this not? This should be a belt from up here down here. For whatever reason, this isn't getting any, because it's got water in it, and that's not good. What I can do is just burn it off. I think I should be able to burn it off. So that's just making, yeah. Okay. For now, I'll shove it into an industrial fluid buffer. I love these things. They're big, and well, they're big. They look pretty impressive. Right, that's got that running again. That's going to start that running. I just need to hook this conveyor up to the thingy my bobs, and that will be fine for now. As I said, all this is very this is block out. This is grey box at this point. And once I know what these parts of the factory look like, then these bits basically be moved around to get it out of the way of the rest of the factory. Now I do need an access point for these things. Yeah, that's good. except I've now just bricked myself in here. So this is a very, very big structure, and certainly once I get it all cemented up, it's going to look very flat. So what I've started doing is not just these. So these I started doing a little while ago, but I'm using the chrome material on these, and I think that looks really good with the concrete. But also I put this staircase in. Now it does work, you know, it does sort of work. And certainly inside I could put some, what is it? Be these. I could put the catwalk across here, and then maybe it would punch out the other side. Yeah, that looks good. So what I'm doing with this part is sort of, this part is basically built. Just wait for that to catch up. So yeah, this part is basically built. It's just that it looks very flat. It looks very boring when you've just got these sheer walls. So having the pipes sort of cut out and then go back in into various places, just it breaks it up. This came out quite well. There's a few dodgy bits of the joints that could be a little bit neater, but I think that came out quite well all in all. And it just also leaves a slight gap here, so I can have an inspection area here. I could also, if I wanted to, add a valve in here for whatever reason. I wanted to valve stuff off, I could do that. If I needed to reduce the thing. Plus, it just looks nice. You know, it looks nice to have a big valve thing just here, along where the inspection area is. So I'm trying to do as much of this as possible. It's just sort of adding little bits to neaten it up. All this section is a complete mess and needs to be reworked, but that will come once I've built some more bits of the factory over here, built this area up a little bit more, and have this actually come through. Everything just needs to be cleaned up, basically. So don't think I can use that door. I think I have to use this one. So coming in here, so it's come in and then it's going to go there. It's then going to go, this is the bit where it gets a bit gnarly. I'm going to have to do a splitter that way around. There we go. So yes, so the way that it works, we get, you know, all the nitric acid, everything just sort of, it starts at the top and it all filters down. And the result is that we are building, we are making, just going to do, so we're making the fuel that will be needed later on to actually power everything, because the power is getting a little bit borderline, and I would like to have just some, you know, a constant supply. It's nice and easy. It's easy to do, I say. It's a little easier to do than nuclear, to do it this way. But yeah, I do need to probably run the compacted coal out, hook that up to the water line from there, and just use it to keep those two things down. I probably would, you know, have a small sort of coal power station. It's not going to do much except just help charge the batteries help keep the lights on, basically. And that's fine. So yes, so that should all now be running, and I should now be getting a little bit of fluid through. I've put valves on these and closed them, because while these lines will be eventually going somewhere, I don't need them yet. So it just seemed logical to just close these off. This will probably be the end of the road. And actually, for this, I've been using this slightly I think it's the coated concrete. That does look quite good. That doesn't. These need to come out. And the edge needs to be using that. And then what have we been using for the edges? I think we've been using concrete. Yeah, I think we've been using concrete walls where possible. Just it creates quite a nice curb there, and then just do this bit. So yeah, I like the I like this sort of town aesthetic that's going on here. It's a little bit of a breakaway from some of the others, and I've learnt a lot just kind of doing, well, I learnt a lot building that building, which is kind of strange. I use some slightly different techniques to how I've done other bits. So this is a new sort of design using a so it's a standard concrete foundation with, actually, you know what, let's build one, so I probably will need to have one somewhere around here. I think something needs to jut out around here, so just take out those two. So foundation goes in there, and then we just surround it with the basic 1 meter the 1 meter walls, and then this goes up like that. Have our hole in the wall and the catwalk corner. I will probably blueprint this, because actually I think it's quite a nice little design. And it's probably something that I will need to work on a little bit, but I think this one is probably one of the better ones, the better designs that I've done so far. So it just ends up like that, and then just because it looks a little bit weird at the bottom, it does need a bit of support. So I've been using, I think it was these ones. Yeah, it was those ones. Like that, and then yeah, so the steel wall bits go in there. The reason why I'm not using steel wall, because it looks a little bit firm, I guess. So I'm just using concrete wall all the way around, apart from there. And then I think I was using the tar roof. Yeah, using tar roof. Like that, and then the colour here was the chrome finish, and that's basically the result. The other thing was I just used the standard concrete rather than using coated concrete here, because it does look better from the outside down here. Now I guess I could use a different top and different bottom. But I think that looks pretty good as sort of an access port, and then especially once you've got the rest of the concrete in this side, just adds a little bit more depth to it, a little bit of something else that's sort of there. Because I'm quite big on doing this sort of stuff now. I think it's worth doing just to make this look. Because I mean, you're down here, and can I do a vehicle? I can do an Explorer. Yeah. Let's let the Explorer build. Put some fuel in it. So yeah, so from down here, it looks pretty good. You know, you've got stuff being moved around on belts. It could certainly do with a bit of lighting, especially for, well, obviously for night, having some street lamps up. Finishing off some of these bits. Maybe some steps, I don't know. Maybe if I've got some, like a bit more of a park sort of area, maybe some steps up might be alright. A little bit unsure on that. But I do have ramps up here, so I could just drive in here if I wanted to. And I've got everything in here. I've got the MAM and I've got all that sort of stuff. Do need to grab some more portable miners though. So I am running a little low. So I think next, I grabbed those miners. I think next I need to move this area. So what do we need? Well, we need a platform that's basically sort of this sort of size. But it's going to be, let's use the same platform as before. Now, I don't need that. Right, so we're using a sort of a standard sort of size-ish of stuff. It's not for any particular reason, it's just I built it like this. It's just kind of ended up just sort of ended up this way. This needs to be hiked up, I think. This is the point where I go back and I look at some of these designs and think, yeah, that needs to be tweaked slightly in accordance with the fact that if you have to walk down there, I don't want you walking into a belt. It would just be it's a little bit clumsy to do that. So belt goes over the top and goes down into there. Fine. And that goes up there, and then that would then just hook into here. The reason why I do that is just so I don't forget what things are doing, because I won't remember and I'll get very confused. So yeah. In the meantime, all of this gets cut out, including that one because it was in the way. And that belt gets pulled out. And we move this converter and we also move this tree somewhere else, i.e. into my inventory. Hold on. Move this tree into my inventory. Always keep a chainsaw with me, because I need a lot of it. There we go. Now we can see what we're doing. Right, so this is creating... Of course, I built them the wrong way around. I keep doing this. Also, no. Right, try this again. Right, so the industrial fluid buffer needs to go in here. Which means that these need to be a little bit further out. That will do, I think. Right. So converter goes in here, and the second converter goes in there. This one is just creating excited photonic matter, and this is pretty much a mainstay of everything that comes forwards. This one is making time crystals, and that will take diamonds to do. And that can then go there. And now we need to take out all this. Now, this one doesn't need anything going into it, apart from power, obviously. This will probably have a continuation of the battery farm down here as well. The battery farm originated because I had a geothermal generator here, but because the geothermal generator doesn't produce a consistent amount of fuel, of power, you generally want to put a battery between it and everything else, because you're going to want to be able to flatten out that curve. As it stands, I have a lot of battery storage because of the fluctuating nature of quite a lot of the machines that I'm using at the moment. Let's get power lines in properly. So I just use the standard double outlets. If there's not loads of machines to power, I'll just use the standard ones. Right, now this one is a 4x4 platform. Just gonna remove all of this, apart from obviously the cold thing at the end. Oh, that was a mistake. That was a mistake. I've just cut my power. Right. Just moved my power line there. It's just for now. So what I'm thinking is, actually half of what I'm thinking is, could I put, no, we'll put it here. Right. So the wall will go in here. That one doesn't need anything. That one does. Two, three, four. Oh well. Don't need to count, it tells me. It tells me. That's just future proofing, just in case there's like a recipe that makes better time diamonds, but I need to add something to it. And then we put in our particle accelerator, which goes in about there. Looks good. There doesn't look good. Hold on. It needs to be the other way around. Hold on. That one needs to go this way around. And she goes there. And that's making diamonds. then I'm using this belt to get the coal in, just for now. Okay, I did actually build that a little bit closer than I thought I wanted to. I mean, these buildings can share a wall, it's fine. In fact, I could probably do something a little interesting here with putting the putting the wall here, putting a gate hole up here, and then maybe doing something like up here. I'll need to get rid of those bushes in a second. And by in a second, I mean now. Let's clear that out. Get these out. Oh, that needs to go. And then obviously that sort of comes up this side, and our modern railing in again. That looks good. What I'll do is do that. You can also rev the chainsaw, which I thought was a rather nice little feature. Right, this area needs to be neatened up. Yes, that's exactly what I want you to do. Just adding a beam connector so that it's a little easier for me to put beams in. That looks okay. Not entirely sure about these. As a result, the beams look a little strange. But definitely needs something here. I wonder if I could get away with these. With steel wool. Might work. Yeah, that works, I think. So we get the beams there. That's sort of on the wall. That's holding that bit up. I'd like to have a little bit of frame here. Maybe metal beam might work. Might work. over to vertical. Right, yes. Certainly adding a little bit of that would help in the steel wall again. Not entirely sure about these beams. I don't think they do work. Again, I do feel like I need something there. Let's see what else I've got. I do have the small metal pillars, which are quite big. Do have beam supports. I wonder if I could do something. No, I don't know what to do here. I'll leave it for now, and maybe something will come to me. But I do definitely want to have that sort of, it goes up, it goes down. It's not really needed to do it like that, but potentially I could then run some pipe work under here. So yeah, something else to sort of experiment with, to be potentially be a way of getting pipes underneath this stuff. We definitely shroud it all in, and it's a bit of concrete. Yeah, that looks good. Maybe the chrome finish on these bits might look good. And then of course the wall is going in here. But I do need a door, which will be one of these ones. Right, this needs power. Do for now. That will do for now, and then that will go on through. Excellent. That's clean. That's cleaned that bit up a bit, and certainly that allows for some interesting sort of factories with holes in the roofs, to kind of allow for these bits to poke through and around. You know, you can do quite a lot with these factories. You know, you can have like a slot where these big factories stick through, and you've got all your machines around them still. Kind of like how I did with the other one. Yeah, this will grow quite nicely, I think, now. It's a case of now basically saying, okay, so what is all of this stuff going to be doing? Why is this here? So for example, here, well, you know what? If I drive my Explorer through here, well, I've got to have somewhere to park. Now, I've done this in a few other locations as well, but maybe just like some sidelines. There you go. I've now got a little parking spot for my buggy, and I can then get out here or come out here. And yeah, this area I think is going to be not a factory, but maybe like a sort of a park or something. I don't know. I could keep that tree there, like I've done again with that sort of pit. Just have a sort of a tree here, park bit might work. Let's have a look. So what I was thinking is maybe something that goes down here. Worry that's going to interfere with the tree, but if I put it here, that then allows us to walk down. Yes, this is literally how I spend some of my time on Satisfactory, is just making a sort of a nice little area for whatever purpose. You know, there's a tree here, it's sort of in the way, but then it's also sort of not. You know, when you kind of think, okay, well maybe this is going to be quite a nice building to put maybe some windows in. And we can certainly, you know, obviously we can just concrete it up, which keeps it in keeping with the rest of the buildings. And then obviously this area needs to be coated. Give it that sort of nice sheen to it. These walls, obviously, we just get these in. And that kind of goes in there, and then we can, nope, like that. And suddenly, you know, it looks, before it looked like it wasn't quite part of the building, or part of the world, I guess. The world wasn't quite part of the landscape, and now it's just like, well, yeah, I've now just got a little area that I could just use as sort of as a park. Might need a little bit of detailing here and there, some fences so that people don't accidentally fall in. Chop this tree out the way, being a little bit careful not to chop the wrong to area that one. But yeah, no, I think that looks pretty good so far. This one is probably not going to be built up too much, so I think we can just put in some and this, I think I'm going to use metal roofs for these. I've used a lot of the tar roof. I'd quite like to just mix in a little bit of the metal as well. That looks quite imposing in a way, you know. That door doesn't look right. It's kind of looking at it from afar. I think the door looks a little bit too close to that wall, so let's just reverse that around, I think. And get our thing in. Could do with like signs maybe outside. The one thing that I would quite like. One thing I would quite like is the ability to put sort of arrows, tractors, all that sort of thing on walls. I can put it on floors, like so, but I can't put them on walls. It's foundations only, which is a shame. I would quite like it on walls. I can put up signs, but in order to do that, it's a crafted item. These, like, you know, I can have, say, a billboard up here. And this one is for, let's just say matter for the minute. So it does sort of give you the ability to do a fair amount of stuff, actually. My power supplies are draining. That's not. Yeah, you can change like the background. I think you can. Do quite a bit of stuff with this. You can add, yeah, different gradients, diagonal lines moving across. That looks pretty good. It'll need tweaking. Right, what is draining my power supply? Well, I've got what on earth is draining my power supply? Something is draining it fast. I don't know particularly what it is. It could be just it's probably just a combination of all sorts of stuff that's suddenly sort of sparking into life. Bit of a problem, and probably do need to deal with that. But I think it's probably going to be time until empty. I've got about 20 minutes before I'm discharging it. That discharge is going up and it's going down. I think in part that is the sheer number of geothermals that I've got. I think, well, short term I could put some more gas stuff up. Longer term, make sure that these geysers are all hooked up to the grid. I'm not sure if all of them are. That would be a really easy way. Like this one, I'm not sure if these ones are hooked to the grid. They should be, but I'm not, as I said, I'm not entirely sure, and that's going to be going into the pink forest. So I am going to end this stream here because I kind of need to finish, sort out this small power grid issue that is developing. So I will say thank you very much for watching, and I will see you next time.